Before we jump into today's episode, I want to speak directly to a very specific group of listeners. If you're an eighth grader getting ready to make the leap into high school, or a high school senior preparing to walk onto a college campus next fall, your preparation starts now. The habits you build, the mindset you strengthen, and the skills you develop during this in between season will shape the way you step into the next level on the field, in the classroom, and in life. So, if you want to know what that transition really looks like and how to get ahead of it, this episode is for you. Welcome back to the Mental Weight Room, the place where athletes come to build strength between the ears. I'm your host, Antoinette Datoc, and today's episode is a special one because we're talking about one of the biggest leaps a young athlete can make, the transition from high school to college. And I'm super excited because my guest is someone I had the privilege of working with during that exact season of life. His name is Cameron Boulanger, a stellar student, a committed baseball player, and a young man who understood early on that unlocking his mindset was just as important as unlocking his swing. Cameron, welcome to the Mental Weight Room. I should say welcome back to the Mental Weight Room. You spent a lot of time here with me.
I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. It's been a couple months.
Yeah. Let's start by giving our listeners a quick snapshot of who you are. Where are you attending school, what you're studying, and what position you're playing these days?
So I'm at Reinhardt. I'm from Woodstock, Georgia. I am a math major and I'm an AI minor at Reinhardt. I'm planning on getting my master's degree actually in math now.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
pretty big. And I'm a catcher at Reinhardt too. Catcher first baseman.
Okay. For some context, let's rewind a little bit. You chose to major in math, and now you're planning to get a master's in math, and you're minoring in artificial intelligence, all while playing collegiate baseball. That's a serious workload. So, what originally pulled you toward that combination, and how are you handling it?
Uh, at the beginning, it was really hard to handle it. My senior year in high school, that's when I really wanted to get into that math kind of area. And I was
Okay.
like, this is going to be a big workload on me. But I just had to stick my nose in it. But I really got interested in it because I have two older brothers. They would be doing stuff on their computers and just numbers and stuff like that, computer programming. And I really like the numbers aspect of it. So that's just really kind of stuck with me throughout high school. And then going into college, I was like, I could actually get, really good money out of this and I actually enjoy it rather than having a degree that I won't enjoy and just studying it for no reason.
Yeah. So tell me about the AI part of it, because when we were working together, you were kind of bent on computer science. When did you switch from computer science to AI?
So when I went to go speak with my advisor, because he got a master's in math as well. So he originally said that computer science is for people who want to do like accounting in their future.
Mhm.
But for me, I want to do data science in my future. And right now, AI is being kind of intertwined with data science. So he said that having a minor in AI would probably be the best thing to have right now, especially
Yeah.
with, chat GPT and all this stuff coming out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty big.
yeah. I'm kind of anti-chat GPT. We'll talk about that off camera sometime. But anyway, you came to me for mental performance training at a really pivotal moment, right on the edge of that huge jump to college. And I'll be honest, you came to me and you said, I want to work every week until I go to college. And I thought, that's a lot, but I will commend you because you did it against my better judgment. And I'm so proud of you because you were so committed. But I want you to talk a little bit about what was happening in your life when you realized, you know what, I need to go get some mental training before I head off to college.
So a lot of it came from me having to kind of go and do the cycle all over again where I'm in high school as a freshman and I would play against, 18-year-old guys. I'm a freshman in college going up against 25-year-old guys. Like we have a guy on the team that's 26. I'm going up against these older guys. They're more mature than me. They've played in the game so much longer. So getting a jump on the mental training side of it, rather than spend my years having to, try and catch up with everyone else, I'd rather get a jump on it now rather than wait and not be fully, mentally trained.
Yeah. And then when we started working together, was there something early on that clicked for you, maybe a session or a particular tool? or a moment where you thought, okay, this is helping because you really stuck to it? I mean, every week you
Mhm.
came and you had done your homework, you were really prepared, you had practiced. What was it that kept you going?
I think it was definitely when I would implement it into, either baseball or just schoolwork. Like I did schoolwork over the summer just to get me prepared for all my classes I was taking, but I really implemented it during my hitting and catching stuff. I even told you about it when we had our lessons together that I was hitting and I was not doing good. It was horrible, and I would have to tell myself like, "You're the man." I would talk to myself like I'm my own teammate, and the results I got from that, that just motivated me even more and even
Yeah.
more. I
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I was very skeptical at first. I was like, would this even work? I would have the doubt in the back of my mind. But then when I saw the results happening and that they were
Right.
positive, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really working. I really need to just keep going and stick my nose
Yeah.
in it and just
Yeah.
grind through the.
Yeah. Yeah, you started to get a quick return on investment. I think a lot of that was also because you were disciplined. You didn't confide this in me back then, but you confided just now that you were a little bit skeptical. Is this
Mhm.
really going to work? But in spite of that, you remained disciplined. And then when you started to get return on investment, it seems like that's when the momentum just kept building and building and building. So I'm glad that you were able to confide that in me now. It didn't
Mhm.
hurt my feelings, trust me. So now I want to we rewound. So now I want to fast forward to day one as a college freshman. New classes, new teammates, new expectations, new schedule. Everything changes all at once. How would you describe that transition when it first hit, academically, athletically, personally?
To say it wasn't a transition, I'd be lying to myself. It was, I think, one of the biggest transitions I've ever had
Right.
as a not only a player, but like just someone in school. The
Yeah.
teachers, they're treating you like adults, so you have to. Oh my gosh, it was a huge transition. They treat you like adults. It's not. They don't spoon feed it to you. Like you really got to grind through it and motivate yourself because a lot of stuff it's not mandatory, but people will skip out on that, and you just have to stick your nose in it and still grind again, like I've said before. But even with baseball, the coaching staff is always going to be different than what your high school coaching is or travel ball coaching because they pay you to play baseball there
Right.
sometimes, and other people they don't get paid, which is always God's plan, but still they're paying you to go and play. So you're getting some of the best coaching out there. But the transition from that again, it is crazy. And again, academically, it was really hard at me at first. I did do enrollment, but still I thought I was prepared for that until I got to my first day and I would actually go to my classes and hear all the lectures and all that. I was like, this is a huge workload on me. Like I really have to grind it through.
Yeah, yeah. This is a little bit off topic. One of the things that Cameron and I did is um, he simulated what he thought his college schedule was going to be like. So he started getting up early in the morning because he knew he was going to have morning workouts in college. He started eating on schedule, just doing all the things that he thought he was going to have to do in college. I'm curious, how close to your actual schedule was that simulated college schedule? Are you glad you did it?
It was spot on. The the simulated schedule I did was so spot on. It helped me out so much. And I always tell people this. Like I'll meet people at my hitting facility and I'll always tell them like before you start school, get into a schedule because if you're in school and you don't have your schedule, it's already too late. You're gonna be behind in so much
Yeah.
stuff. I would, class would start at 8 o'clock. I would wake up at 6:45, and on my lift days, I would wake up at 5:45. So being ahead of that and not waking up and feeling groggy for starting too late, one of the best decisions I think I've ever made.
Good, good, good. I'm so proud of you. All right. But everybody hits a wall, right? At some point during freshman year, whether it's academically, physically, emotionally, it happens to every freshman. Where did you experience that? Where did you feel most prepared? And where did you feel the most thrown off balance?
I To say I didn't hit a wall again, I'd be lying to myself. I didn't only hit walls during like my baseball experience, but I also hit walls during my academic experience as well. Getting accustomed to everything was one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to do.
Mhm.
I'd have to sacrifice a lot of stuff to time manage correctly. I did feel really prepared with, um, again, my mental side. That was, I think, taking this course with you was one of the best decisions I think I've ever made in my life. And I felt so prepared for whatever was thrown my way. But again, still having stuff thrown in your way, it's still a wall that you got to get over. Like
Yeah.
it was still so much for me at the beginning of the semester around that August to October time. But now that I've kind of accustomed to it, it's gotten easier over time after
Yeah.
that October point. So
Yeah.
I am truly grateful for the training that you had me do with you. That
Yeah.
was, I think, prepared me the absolute most for college.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's fast
Mm.
forward to your academic load. Math and AI isn't for the faint of heart. So,
Definitely
very,
not.
which mental tools do you find yourself leaning on the most when you're studying and juggling, your time?
It was when we had our time management session, I think that was really beneficial for
Okay.
that as well. It was a short lesson that we did on that, but I think
Yeah.
that benefited me with my math and AI the absolute most. Like the sticky note around the computer thing, that was, oh my God. During school, I kid you not, my top row of my computer would just be covered in sticky notes, and I couldn't see the work that I was doing half the time. It would just be covered in sticky notes of just things that would pop up in my mind, and I'd be like, all right, I gotta write this down. I can't do this right now. I gotta just grind through this right now and then go and do that right after. But I think that helped me out so much with a lot of my schoolwork. Like I would even do that at school. I would go into the study rooms and if I needed to go hit on my own at one point, I would be like, okay, I need to go hit it this time. I'm just gonna write it down real quick so I'll remember to do it. And
Yeah.
then after I was done with all my schoolwork, I would just go and hit and just do all my stuff that I had written down on my sticky notes.
Yeah. Well, that's a good segue to my next question because you use some of those tools for baseball as well. What were some of the best tools that you were able to use to help with the transition actually on the diamond?
I think I used every tool that you gave me in in your book that you gave me. But I think the most one I used was my highlight reel. And I've told you this before.
Yeah.
I've used the highlight reel in like practice, scrimmages, games. I use it all the time. Um, I failed a lot during baseball this year and having that highlight reel in my mind. I even wrote it down just if I was busy at one point and I just had so much on my mind, I would look at it and be like, okay, like I did all of this. I know I'm a good baseball player. I just had to accept the failure and realize this isn't me. Everyone's gonna fail. I strive to be perfect, but being perfect means that you need to have awareness that you're gonna fail and you gotta learn from it. Like people say, I want to be perfect and have perfect outcomes. To have the perfect outcome, you need to learn to fail and learn that failing is part of the process. So having that highlight reel after I would fail would save me. Oh my gosh. It was it was amazing having that. It was really awesome having that.
I'm glad that the highlight reel worked. It is a really, really good tool for maintaining confidence in those tough
Mm.
times. Did you, by any chance, use that personal feedback loop with the post performance reflections and then intentional practice plans? Did you use that in conjunction with those failures?
Yes, so I also wrote that down in a journal. So after we would have our scrimmages and stuff like that, I would write that post performance in my journal and be like, okay, what happened? Like, did I have all of my stuff? Like, just writing down check marks. And just if I didn't have something, I would need to just tell myself, this needs to change in the future and I need to have this, or I need to have this other day, depending on if I was catching or hitting. If
Right.
I was hitting one day, like as a DH in a scrimmage, I would be like, you know, Did I have a good mindset when I went up there? If I didn't, okay, next time I go up there and hit, I need to have a better mindset. Or if I'm catching, did I do this correctly? And if I didn't, well, not correctly, if I didn't have like a good mindset or something like that again, I would go up and write it down. Did I have this? Did I do
Yeah.
it good?
Yeah.
And if I didn't check the box off, I would just tell myself, okay, next time we get out there, you need to be better at this and just be calm, cool, collected.
Yeah. You're the young guy again, right? And you're playing a skill
Hmm.
position behind the
Hmm.
plate. That's a high stress position because when you're
Hmm.
playing, you're in every single play, right? So being the young guy, leveling up, different coaching styles. Did you experience performance anxiety in your scrimmages?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I came from one of the top high schools out there, and
Right.
having that transition from one of the top high schools to one of the top NAIA schools in the nation, I thought that I had to prove my point of why I was there.
Yeah.
I would have my anxiety when I got up to the plate. I think my first time ever hitting, I was shaking like it was 40 degrees outside, and I like, oh my gosh, just taking it, just looking back at it, not even hitting too, catching. Oh my gosh. If a batter was up, I was shaking so much in the backstop. Like they thought that I was like having a true panic attack. I had some of the worst performance anxiety. And then I got more comfortable over time, but that first time, oh my gosh, it was some of the worst performance anxiety I've ever had. I was shaking in my boots, literally. It was.
Yeah. My quick question. Did you remember breath work?
Oh yes, breath work. So our coach, he's big on visualization and breath work. So I was already ahead of all of that. And when I would come back into the dugout, I would try and do, box breathing and just any kind of breath work. But, in the moment, I was just freaking out. It was some of the worst performance anxiety I think I've ever had in my life. And nothing was up in my mind of, breath work in the moment. I would be in the box. I'm like, okay, I need to stop shaking right now. I'm shaking way too much. The coaches are probably thinking, what the heck is wrong with this kid? But no, I think definitely when I would get back into the dugout, I would do my breath work and try and calm myself
Yeah.
down. And that definitely worked.
So, is there a moment from this past fall when you said, "Yep, this is where the mental training pays off, and I've got to keep practicing this"?
Beginning of the fall, again, I failed and struggled a lot. The coaches thought I would have conversations with my players and teammates, and I would ask for help. It just said keep grinding through it. I would also help my teammates when they were having troubles. And, halfway through the fall season, I started to see some outcomes, some progress. And I was like, this mental stuff, because I would keep doing it day in and day out. I'm like, I've trusted this during the summer. I know this works. Just because I'm not seeing it right now does not mean it's not going to work in the future.
Yeah.
So I just kept doing it and kept doing it. And or later in the season, I would see multiple outcomes of me just showing them what I'm truly capable of,
Right.
and that little things like that just motivate you so much. And I think
Right.
that's what really told me this mental weight room stuff that we talked about, game changer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the one word you just said that just stuck out to me is trust. And I can remember way back in the first couple of weeks saying to you, you got just trust this process, trust this process. It's the same thing. You were a little skeptical at first. You started to get some return on investment. It's easier to stay committed when you're getting return on investment. Spring's going to be the same thing. You're going to hit some walls. So
Mhm.
just trust the process. Um,
Mhm.
One big thing for college athletes is identity because you're not just an athlete, you're also a student, you're a roommate, you're a friend, you're a brother, you're a son, and you're growing up into adulthood all at the same time. So have you learned how to balance all that without burning out and not being just totally consumed by one thing?
I think time management again is one of the big things that helped me with my identity.
Yeah,
There are a lot of people where they're in high school and their one identity is one single thing, whether it's their sports or whether it's, their academics. I can list you off 100 people that have, a one-sided identity and not
right.
just, a identity where they can just be themselves and it's not just targeted down to one single
One
thing.
thing, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's definitely time management. Time management helped me balance, my identity. And I've had a lot of professors come up to me and, we talked about identity and time management and stuff like that, which is really funny you mentioned that. But, we like in my class, we had a whole segment about finding our identity, and it shouldn't be about just one thing at our school. Like it needs
right,
to be the your identity is your community. It's who you surround yourself with.
right.
So
That's
I
right.
think time management and the people helped me out figure out my identity and not get burned out from that.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about burnout because when you're in college, you're constantly running, 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 running. And it's really easy to be in hyper overdrive all the time.
Mhm.
And that can lead to burnout. So I'm curious, are there any routines or habits or practices that you do that help keep you in check and help your mental well-being?
I think so. There are multiple ways. I could say so many things. One of them being my girlfriend. I'm blessed to have her be on campus with me. We're both at Reinhardt. We both play sports there. She's playing soccer. I'm playing baseball. But, during this time, I was able to go to her and, we would be able to talk and just kind of both mentally reset and kind of give us some rest during our practices and our scrimmages and all of that. But then also, you know, since I'm playing baseball, I've gotten to know so many other guys. I consider them my family. That is my second family right there. And we would go out and we would use just kind of any amenities at the school, basketball court, just anything like that. Give all of us a mental reset going into, the next week or the next month. And even at practice, we would all just sit in the locker room and just talk with each other and just that right there, having that second family was is one of the best things I think that helped me not be burned out, really.
Yeah, sounds like you guys have really good team chemistry. That's really important.
Mhm.
Okay, so now, if you were talking to a high school athlete preparing for college, someone in the exact same shoes that you were in not long ago, just what, 6 months ago, what would
Mhm.
you tell them about the mental side of the transition?
If I could tell them everything, it would probably take months and years to tell them everything. But I think one of the biggest things I would tell them is not to strive to be perfect and to accept failure. I mean, during my exit meeting with my coaches for the fall, they said that I was able to handle failure the best that they've seen in a while.
Oh,
So
wow, that's
having
great, Cameron. I'm so
so
proud of you.
seeing that seeing that coming from, our training that we've done together, that also motivated me. But to also I wasn't striving to be perfect. I accepted failure, and I think accepting failure is one of the best things that you can do. It doesn't sound good when you say it out loud, accepting failure, not striving to be perfect. Everyone strives to be perfect, but being perfect in my eyes is accepting failure and becoming aware that you are going to fail and that
Yeah,
you need to learn from that. You learn
yeah,
from your mistakes.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I think accepting failure is one of the best things for the mental side that you can do because a lot of stuff that happens in baseball when people get in their heads is from failure. It's always from failure. Like you never see anyone get mad for doing something good. Like
Right?
they're always happy. It's always from failure. That's just one of the biggest things that I've been
Yeah,
told and I've learned over the past couple of months is accepting failure.
yeah. It's part of the process. Everybody fails. It's part of the
Hmm.
process, and that's where growth and learning happens.
Hmm.
All right. So I want to wrap up. What goals, academic, athletic, personal, are you excited about pursuing next? I know the master's degree, but coming up, let's
I was about
let's
to
talk
say.
about more immediate. What about the spring?
A lot of the spring, I think it's going to be a lot of working out for me, gaining weight, just kind of being more agile and all of that, just physically and then mentally. I'm still doing my journaling, still doing
Good.
all of that. So I'm loving all of that right now. But as of now, I'm just worried about, getting better for next year and then the year after that and then the year after that. I just strive to be better every year, every month, every day, every hour, really. You just got to
Yeah.
be better.
Yeah. That's all you can do. That's all you can control is you, right? Well, Cameron,
Mhm.
this has been a really awesome way to reconnect and a meaningful
I agree.
conversation. Yeah, thank you for being so open about your experience and for giving our listeners a real look into what the mental side of the college transition feels like. I really, really
Of
appreciate your
course.
taking the time. It was great to
Of course.
catch up.
Thank you again for having me on here. This is
Yeah.
awesome. I love this.
Yeah, maybe you can come back after the spring. We'll have an update. Remember, strength isn't just built in the weight room, it's built in moments of choice, challenge, reflection, and failure. And you have the power to train your mind just as intentionally as you train your body. Thanks for joining us today. If you found this episode helpful, take a moment to share it with another athlete or parent who might benefit. This is Coach Antoinette signing off. And as always, keep training your brain like you train your body and keep pushing your limits.